Alright, so I noticed on YouTube there isn't really any real recent Reaper Reactor expands. So I pulled up someone's stream not long ago who was trying to learn how to play Terran. And I was like, hey, do a Reaper Reactor expand in every matchup until you get good at that, because it's versatile. You can 2-on-1 behind it, you can 1-1 behind it. It's like the perfect opener as far as like being safe and economic, and nonetheless, I tried to find a link on YouTube to a recent 1-1-1 or a Reaper Reactor expand, and there really wasn't one. So I decided to make one, and I'm going to basically just show about 5 minutes of the first 5 minutes of the game. Basically what I'm going to do is Reaper Reactor expand. Behind that, I'm going to do 1-1-1, so which means one factory, one starport in addition to my barracks, which 1-on-1, one of each production building. And then I'm just going to stay in production. Then I'm going to pause and stop the video and not worry about anything else, because I feel like if you're really new, if you're bronze, silver, you really don't want to take in too much extra. There's already enough to be doing that you don't need to worry about like really scouting or what tech path, or if you're gonna do a technical build with like ravens or anything like that. Literally just make stuff. Just get faster at making stuff. So right off the jump, I'm gonna rally my first guy out. He's gonna make my supply. Supply. I hotkey it out of habit. You don't have to, clearly. Now, okay. Here's the first crucial kind of timing. When you're at 15 out of 15, right up here, 15 out of 15, you will rally your next worker onto your gas geyser, and you will make that gas geyser straight away. And then when this guy is done making that supply depot, he's also going to make your barracks, and he's going to make your natural expansion. So 150 barracks. Now I'm going to go ahead and rally him down here to make my natural. Now, right when my gas is done, right away, I'm going to saturate it. When the barracks is done, I'm going to make an orbital here. I'm going to make a Reaper out of the barracks. Like right when the barracks finishes, I'm going to do that. So after this next worker, I'm going to stop here at 19 out of 19. There's going to be a few second gap where you're not going to be producing a worker and you can't yet make your orbital, but it's okay. So right here, once this finishes orbital, Reaper. The guy that made the barracks is rallied down here. And what do you know? Look at that. We have just enough to make an expansion. I'm not even going to rally the Reaper across the map. I'm just going to keep him at the front for now. When the Reaper is halfway-ish, or when you have 100 minerals, go ahead and make your second supply depot. Try to make it before the Reaper finishes, though. Otherwise, things can get kind of tight. Okay, so the Reaper finishes, you put a reactor on it. Now, technically, this is Reaper Expand Reactor, but they call it a Reaper Reactor Expand because it just rolls off the tongue better, So what we're going to do now is, right when the reactor finishes, we're going to pump Marines nonstop. And then right when this guy is done making my second depot, he's going to be the one to make the factory. Right after he starts the factory, look at your main, grab a worker, and make a second gas. So, boom, here's my Reapy boy. This guy is going to make my factory right here. This is going to finish. And boom. And gas. Factory. And second gas. Would you look at that? And I'm just gonna keep making workers and units. Get used to just tapping your hotkeys for your command centers and your production, and making sure, looking at this green down here, and making sure you're building. Honestly, queue up 2 things at a time. Not more than 2, but queue up 2 workers at a time, because it's better than missing one. So right when he's done with the factory, we're going to make a starport. And then a tech lab, and then more marines. Alright.
Your command center upgrade is
close to the time when your natural orbital finishes, you will make your 3rd supply depot. Now, it can be a hair before the orbital finishes, it can be right after it finishes, but really close to that time, you need to be making your 3rd supply depot, or you're going to get supply blocked at 46 out of 46. Pretty much from here on out the rest of the game, you're going to make a supply depot after everyone finishes. Obviously, once you hit your max of 200 supply, you're gonna clearly don't keep making them, because that's just a waste. So once this one is about done, I'm gonna queue up him to make another one. I'll just keep making supply depots, keep making workers, keep making marines, tanks, and Vikings.
we finished that add-on.
Right when your tech lab finishes, queue up a tank. Workers.
Bad news. Big job.
Marines.
Not enough minerals. Minerals.
Viking.
Now. Get 'em. Not enough energy.
Production. And what you're going to want to do is find kind of a rhythm. So what I usually do is I check my workers, I check my production, I check my supply, I check my mini-map. It doesn't have to be that order. It's not always in that order for me, but find a rhythm where you're working in, visually looking at the supply, looking at the mini-map, looking at what you're doing, and keep moving your eyes. Find a rhythm. So when that tank finishes, we'll go ahead and make another tank.
You're gonna need a tad bit more. Not enough minerals.
SCV ready. Who wants ready to plunder? Fighter.
Once my second Viking pops, I just keep making supply depots. Actually, 2 at a time at this point. A lot of times what I like to do is put one like over here so that I can see all my base, but it depends on the matchup. If it's TVZ, then I put it at the front in my wall. If it's TVT or TVP, then I try to scout it out my base. Okay. So here you go. It's just about 5 minutes when I said I was going to stop. I have about enough money to put down my 3rd base. And I'm staying in production. Keep making supply. But basically focus on getting that infrastructure in place. The Reaper reactor expand. And going from there. Don't really worry about too much else other than that. So here is actually... I made this, and I'm gonna blow this up here. Worker, rally him out to make supply, make a worker, make another worker, rally him to make your gas. The guy that made this supply is gonna make a barracks, make an orbital and a reaper, expand. When the reaper's about halfway, make another supply depot. And then when the reactor's done, when the Reaper's done, make a reactor on the barracks right away. Yeah, and I mean, you just saw it. I don't actually know if I wrote this correctly. I just jotted it down quick to add in here. Just do it until you can do it without even thinking about it, because that first while of the game is like time when your mind needs to be focused on scouting what your opponent's doing. So just keep doing that, and this works in every matchup. You can do this in TVT, TVZ, TVP, doesn't matter. You make adjustments based on what you see and what you're against, but the infrastructure stays the same. So hopefully that will help, and later on.